interest. So once your interest is protected, I think it's all business as usual. So
no permanent interest. And people are wondering how, these two men were even able to see eye to eye, and they are beginning to even maybe ask some questions or begin to imagine who brokered these meeting between Wike and Fubara, and who also brokered the meeting between. Well, I heard it was at his instance that he asked to see President Bola Tinubu.
But of course, he didn't go alone.
Okay, to meet Wike or to meet President
Both.
Tinubu?
He didn't go alone to see the president, and he didn't also go alone to meet with Wike.
Okay,
he went with the governor of Ebonyi State was there. The governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, was there. And then the former governor of Ogun State, Segun Osoba, was there. They took him to Wike's house. And when he got in there, he walked straight to Wike's living room, because that's a house that he's used to, he's familiar with. It's a familiar terrain. So that's the truth of the matter. So those who ought to have known, some even doubted, the very close persons were saying it didn't happen because he didn't even carry them along. I mean, there are times when you are, in crisis, you just tell yourself, look, I need to do this. So now, but the funny thing is that the people that took him for that meeting are all APC people. There was no PDP there. So probably that's the reason why that rumor came that he's going to defect to the APC. We don't know. But again, for now, Wike is still a member of the PDP. He's not joined the APC yet, even though he's working in an APC government. But the people who took him there are APC leaders.
So would you say his party, the People's Democratic Party, failed him?
Did they really fail him? I think that he just decided to walk away. Maybe he's also not comfortable with what's going on with the party. You see, the party is also in crisis. You see, Okowa, that, was the running mate to Atiku in the last election, has just defected. The Delta governor has defected. So there comes a time in a man's life when you make some calculations without even asking the next person. Even when your wife asks you, you just tell your wife, well, I had to take that decision, so you just follow me. So anyone who wants to follow him will follow him, and anyone who doesn't want to follow him. But let me tell you something, no matter the reconciliation, there's a lot of sacrifices are going to be made. Some persons will be sacrificed, some persons will walk away after now. By the time he returns, you may be surprised to see that the government, a lot of persons will leave and new persons will come. But of course, there's no vacuum in government. When people go, people come in, and then, services are also rendered. So what people want to see is that Rivers State moves forward. The president, I'm sure, also wants to see that peace returns and then the state moves forward. There's a lot to be discussed beyond politics. There's a lot to be discussed beyond their personal gains and whatever they want. We're talking about the economy of the state. We're talking about developing the seaports. We're talking about having quality, investors coming in. Let the investors believe that, nothing will happen, because the moment the emergency rule was, put in place, and IBAS came and then had to stand down every democratic process, even for contracts and all that, and what do you call it? Any investor, will feel
10 seconds, 10 seconds before we go. Has this emergency rule achieved much?
Well, for me, there has been
desired.
There has been relative peace. Purpose. At least we didn't see any more of those destruction of the national assets, the pumping of the pipelines and all that. It doesn't mean that boys are still not doing some little stuff, but that's frequency which we saw the destruction. That thing was.
We've also seen protests.
And protests
against the emergency.
But the truth is that protests, even those who are protesting, sometimes they don't even know the reason why they are just probably hired to just do the bidding of those who call them. Yeah, otherwise, are they not still going to school? Are they not going to church? Are they not going to the market? Is anybody threatening them? It's still the same thing. The issues are beyond the people on the street. These issues are, first, the national asset. That's where people get it wrong. When they say the president had no right. And they didn't remember that national assets, the oil pipelines, were being destroyed in quick succession. Who knows what would have happened? I'm sure even Tantita was also worried about what happened within that period. So I think the president had achieved that. And if the emergency rule has to end, now that we have relative peace and all that,
so be it.
It might also be fragile peace anyway, like somebody said. But the important thing is that it is better than what we saw at
all right, then. Obiarukwe Undukwe, founder of Citizens Quest for Truth initiative. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for your insights on
Thank
this matter, especially when it comes to Rivers State.
Thank
I
you
must
so
appreciate
much.
your time on the program.
Thank
Well,
you.
that's all on this episode of TVC News Politics on Sunday. We're glad you could be part of it. You can see this episode again on TVC News YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.